Hi everyone, I'm Carrie.
I'm Maddie.
And welcome to
Book
Book Club. We're your hosts. Today we are going to be talking about A Court of Frost and Starlight and mostly A Court of Silver Flames.
In A Court of Silver Flames, we're talking about Nesta mainly. She, since the war, has been turned high fae against her will. She hates it.
Boo.
Yeah. So we're talking about that. Cassian, whom we love, and the Valkyries. It's going to be super exciting. We've got a lot to say.
These are the last two books in the ACOTAR series. Episode 1, we covered the first 3. And like Maddie said, we have lots of thoughts, lots of jokes, and we want you to be in on the jokes. So please go read the book first. Come back on over here because we're going to have lots of spoilers. But we want you to be a part of it. So that being said, welcome to Book Club.
Welcome to Book Club. Hey, what's up?
Ready for Book Club?
I am obsessed.
This is the worst. What do you mean? What? No, idiot. Welcome to Book Club.
Welcome to Book Club.
Okay. Listen. We are fresh.
Yeah.
Off.
12 hours fresh.
12 hours fresh off finishing ACOTAR. The first episode, we did books 1 through 3. This episode, we are doing books 4 and 5, A Court of Frost and Starlight, and A Court of
everybody's
Silver
favorite,
Flames.
Silver Flames.
Oh my God. Okay. But on a real note, we literally finished We finished Court of Frost and Starlight a couple days ago, but we finished Silver Flames literally less than 12 hours ago.
Yeah, less than 12 hours ago. So it's fresh.
We went to bed at like 3 in the morning after finishing this book, but we're not talking about it yet.
We've got to do Frost and Starlight first.
Okay, let's get through it. Not a lot going on in this book. See,
it was just cutesy.
I think even people, I don't know if Sarah J. Maas has said this, but like this is like a buffer. This is like the closing out the original trilogy and getting you ready because ACOTAR's not over.
Right.
Thank the
cauldron.
God. Thank the mother.
Thank the mother. I could not live. I genuinely don't think I could go on.
No, I've been saving it up, but I'm hyperventilating now that we have finished Silver Flames.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous.
It's changed my life. But this one is a buffer to get you prepped for what will be the next few books of the ACOTAR series. Hopefully, multiple books. It's almost like
it's the transition from Feyre and Rhys to Nesta and Cass.
Because Silver Flames is almost like A Court of Mist and Fury 2.0. It's their version. Like Mist and Fury was Rhys and Feyre's prep for the war. Yeah. This is like their Mist and Fury. So I'm
100%.
I'm thinking that's what she was going for.
Yeah.
But we don't have a lot to discuss in Frost and Starlight because it's literally like what?
It's just really cute.
250 pages.
There's not
it's
even
Christmas time. It's amazing. Winter solstice is upon us.
Nesta's just being a bitch. Like,
and I will say, I know that this has the lowest ratings out of all of the ACOTAR books.
Yeah.
But that's bull because y'all don't want to be happy is what I'm hearing from that. This is a happy, good time book. When I'm having a bad day, I'll reread this book.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Except for the Nesta and Cassian part. That hurts me deeply in my soul. But let's get into it. We only have a couple of sticky notes, and then we're moving on to Silver Flames.
What's your first sticky note?
My first one is
I think it's 94.
94,
yeah.
Yep.
Tamlin didn't have shields around the house to guard against enemies.
Timmy Tam.
Appearing in his bedroom and slitting his throat is almost as if he wanted someone to do it. Yeah, Tamlin being wanting to die the whole time.
He wants to die. And the thing is,
I don't like Tamlin.
I don't like Tamlin either, but I have mixed
feelings. I am not a
a
Tamlin sympathizer, but
I might be.
I think he's a piece of I don't know. I think he's troubled.
He needs some help.
Yeah, he definitely needs some help. But like, I don't want him to die. I don't care enough about him to have. I don't want to read a full redemption arc. Really. Yeah. But I feel like he got his like mini redemption arc.
I want to know that he's okay.
Yeah.
If anything, for the Spring Court, I want Elaine to be able to see the Spring Court.
Yeah, some people ship Tamlin and Elaine together.
No. I don't ship Tamlin with
anybody. He's not healthy.
He's not healthy. I ship him with a therapist.
No, dead ass.
Got that beat. Hold
on. But yeah, don't want Tamlin to die. That's that.
But Rhys is still like, which also Rhys rips him a new one, which is kind of funny. He's like, yeah, you deserve this. And Tamlin's like, okay. And then we're all like, okay, you really had to kick him while he's down. But I'm kind of like, yeah, kick him.
Funny.
Kick him.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to be kicked.
And sometimes you have to do the kicking.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you just have to be a bitch. And that's just how life is.
The next sticky note I have is on page 194. I didn't even highlight anything.
Hold on.
Oh, this is Nesta. What's happening?
I'm glitching. Just give me a second. I have something. I had a sticky note and it fell off.
Oh, on what page?
Oh, 105. I don't know. Cassian said makes it all more delicious. I'm not even sure that was anything.
It doesn't matter. It's just Cassian.
I don't think that was substance at all. I think I was just like
talking.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Say delicious again.
Yeah.
The cats. 119. I had a sticky note on this page because this is when Nesta's being a little stinker butt, and
yeah,
Feyre's like, come to Solstice, all right? Elaine is sad. She wants Nesta there, and Nesta is going through it. She's struggling after the war. I mean, got her own apartment in the shade. If Valeris can get shady, it's the shadiest part where Nesta's living.
She's having a bad time.
She is having a bad time, but on the other end of things, her family has been trying to help her, and she's just not. She doesn't want to help herself.
Yeah, the thing that was really Nesta, I think, was pissing me off more in
this book,
in Frost and Starlight than she was in Silver Flames, because obviously we get more of her,
right?
You know, her inner monologue in Silver Flames, but in Frost and Starlight, girl was just like she was just kind of irking me because they were.
I think it's the thing is that there is two sides to it. After reading Silver Flames, we get Nesta,
but also Nesta was like, nobody else gets it, babe. Everybody went through the same war, like
and all honestly, the people around you except for Feyre and Elaine, multiple wars.
I feel like definitely Elaine, Feyre, and Nesta were affected.
Yeah,
probably the most. Because it was more, it was their first one. It was their dad died. Rhys died for a little bit. Feyre lost her ever loving shit.
Yeah.
But like it was traumatizing for everyone. For Nesta to think that like, oh, they've just banded together and gotten over it.
Yeah, there's
Miss Girl, be so serious.
There's lots of themes of mental illness in these books.
Yeah,
and she is self-sabotaging.
Oh,
and she's
100%.
isolating herself with the mindset of nobody gets me, nobody hurts as bad as I do. Uh-oh. And that's just not true. That literally is just not true. Reading that, I was like, Nesta, come on. How in your own world, she felt very main character energy. Like she's like, it's all about me and nobody gets it.
Nobody gets it.
That drives me up the wall. Drives me up the wall in a terrible way. But I had a sticky note that basically Feyre had to bribe her to come to dinner. Not even like the full solstice, but to come to dinner? You kidding me?
I mean, like, if someone offered to pay my rent and I was, like, in a piss-ass mood,
I mean,
it would make me feel better.
It's not even, like, actually, it wasn't even a bribe. It was, like, if you want your rent paid, you show up.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, shitty of Nesta to allow that to happen.
Yes, but also, too, they're paying her rent, dude, and she's blowing it.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, yeah, that's in Silver Flames.
Yep.
I feel like these two, like,
They went together
so well. Like they
it's
just
hard
flowed
to see where
very
one
well.
ends and one begins.
Yeah.
The next note I have is on 134. Where's yours?
Oh, none of my notes are of substance.
Okay, fair enough. Is the Weaver? So it's when Feyre's talking to the Weaver who makes this night court tapestry, and I just underlined or highlighted the quote.
Oh, I have to
create. Or it was all for nothing. I have to create or I will crumple up with despair and never leave my bed. I have to create because I have no other way of voicing this. And she pointed to her heart. And I think Sarah J. Maas is a genius.
Yeah.
She literally, I mean, Elaine has flowers and gardening, and that is her way of like, as far as now, she may have some other skills. I don't know. But that's her way of coping. Feyre's is painting. And when Silver Flames, we learn about Nesta's, what's big slay.
I love Nesta.
And then also, this is not of substance, but the boys' snowball fight. The fact that they go on an annual snowball fight.
So funny.
The way they kick Rhys out of the steam room.
Oh my God, yeah.
Asriel said, put that thing away. why I can tell that you are having this little spicy convo with Feyre right now in your mind. That's weird.
Asriel said, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, Mochi agrees. Yeah, girl. Literally terrible, awful. He was like, you're the worst. You're so annoying.
Yeah.
And you didn't even win the snowball fight. So, come on, Reese. The only other note that I have in here is the fact whenever it's on 198 when Reese and Feyre are talking about all of her dresses, and Reese says that his mother made the dresses.
Yeah.
Made the dresses. Every single dress he's ever given to Feyre, his mother made. How? And they were made for his wife. He knew. I mean, we know he knew. But, like, it just keeps getting better. And
my notes are so shit this book. Please look at this highlight.
Just look at how I fuck you, Feyre.
Felt important to me.
It is. It's important for the plot.
It's like my highlights in this book.
What is she doing?
Oh, Mochi says. So true. So true.
So true, girl. Okay, but honestly, that's kind of all that happens, really. And then at the very end, I highlighted something. I saw it. Where'd it go?
It was probably what I highlighted.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. I have, oh, yeah. He laughed, low and wicked. Hold on tight, then. Mother above and cauldron save me. I don't know the context of what's happening there. Oh, yeah. Talking about making the pictures fall off the wall. Yep, I also underlined look at how Feyre. Okay.
Seemed really important.
And then her solstice gift to him was that she wanted to have a baby. And he was like, get crazy.
Yeah.
What was his to her? I genuinely... Oh, the house.
The house, yeah.
They move. Feyre gets her art studio.
The river house.
Off. The river house sounds beautiful.
Everything's great for them. I don't need more about them because the weird... I am not... Some people like this, but the pregnancy trope...
I don't like it.
No. Once you start having babies,
hear me out.
Get it out.
Hear me out.
I'm glad you're happy. I'm glad you...
Nyx, that we find out later in the book, sounds... adorable.
Yeah, so cute. So happy for them.
So happy.
I don't want to read about it though.
I like the sprinkling. I like the describing of the child. I don't care much for the pregnancy.
Yeah.
But also
we'll
get
the
into
constant,
that, though. We have other things.
The constant hand on your belly. Okay, I feel like a hater.
I kept thinking that too.
I feel like a hater. I have obviously never been pregnant. I'm not a mom. I don't know if
same.
that like brings out, but
like you gotta
fucking annoying ass character traits. But like, I don't know, just the whole time, Feyre, hand on her belly, Feyre's hand on her girl. Sorry,
it's not going
we
anywhere.
all see that you're no dead ass. We all see that you're
He's
pregnant.
Not leaving.
Like,
he's not going anywhere. Yeah, but that's A Court of Frost and Starlight. It's adorable. It's Christmas, holiday time. The food sounds delicious.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm obsessed with that. Did we have anything else to touch on?
We literally had nothing for Frost and Starlight.
Sick. Okay.
So that's that.
Off with that.
And
Here
now we're
it rounds off with everyone's having a great time except for Nesta. And Nesta and Cassian get into it. He throws the solstice gift into the river. She's having a bad time. Yeah. And at this point, we're still pretty frustrated with Nesta because we're like, come on, Cass Daddy wants you.
Yeah.
He wants you bad. Wants you bad.
Yeah. All right. A Court of Silver Flames.
Silver Flames. Girl, we read this in like what? Less than 48 hours? No, less than 72 hours.
Yeah.
I won't give us that
much
credit.
I think we did 3 days.
Because
we did 250.
Yeah.
We did 250 a day.
All right, girl.
I'm
flipping to my first note. Yeah?
Oh, just thinking. When's your first note?
78.
Oh, I got 53.
All right. Go for it.
We'd be better off throwing Nesta into a court of nightmares. She'd thrive there.
Who says that?
More,
girl. Okay, we have some bones to pick with More a little bit in the beginning. I totally forgot about that.
Mainly though, I mean, More like she says that
she's just kind of tense with Nesta.
Yeah, but she's always been kind of tense with Nesta,
which is weird because she's not with Cassian, and it feels
Asriel.
It feels stemmed from Cassian.
Also, I mean, she could just be protective over Cassian.
But
But
Cassian can hold his own, let me tell you.
yeah, Cassian's fine. Also, like, I don't know. Cassian's fine. He's giving Emmett from Twilight. Like, he
is giving Emmett from Twilight.
He's just having a good time, and
Yeah.
nothing. There's just nothing
Yeah.
too deep.
My note is 78. We're having Nesta's point of view, right? And she says, I hate everything that I am. I am so tired of wanting to be anywhere but in my own head. And all I wrote was, she is so depressed. As much as I was frustrated with Nesta, you either get it or you don't. I don't tolerate Nesta slander.
What she needs is a therapist and an antidepressant. The girls who don't like Nesta have never needed an antidepressant, and that's for damn sure.
Literally. And I will say, before we get too deep into this, I just need to point out, this is something that we have briefly talked about. Everyone said Silver Flames was the smuttiest book.
You guys are dramatic.
It is more than the other ones.
Definitely.
But
if this is smut, I'm sorry, there are 800 pages and we get like a handful of scenes.
Maybe a handful.
When I think like smut, when someone's like, oh, that book is smutty, I'm thinking like, oh, you know, a good quarter of it is just straight smut.
That is
not this book. Which, like, this book doesn't need to be, because the plot is great. But it keeps you reading regardless.
I would even point out, if you're reading a book, out of all 5 of these books, if you want the most, like, that feeling when you're reading that book, of, like, a smutty book, I would say Mist and Fury. Rhys and Feyre have more tension.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, more, like, teasing, gamey tension than Cassian and Nesta have. And it's only because Cassian wears his heart on his sleeve.
Also, Cassian and Nesta had tension from the jump. Like, they have been at each other's fucking necks for 2 years
literally
now.
In that bonus chapter after Mist and Fury, legit at her neck.
Literally. Oh yeah. Oh
okay.
Yeah.
Let's get into it some more. We can't obviously go to every sticky note. But
I feel like we should touch on Koshki or
Koshki,
whatever the hell his name is.
This weird
the bone carver's older brother.
Yeah.
Why does he suck? But the bone carver and the weaver. I mean, like, the weaver was like kind of like an anti-hero, I guess. Like, she was just
kind
like
of anti-heroes.
Yeah.
Well,
I like
the bone carver more so a hero than the weaver. The weaver, she's a hero in my book. She killed Ianthe.
Oh yeah, so true.
Fuck
true. Ianthe.
She sucks.
God, I will only ever take Ianthe slander. Oh, remember when we thought Rhys was the house?
Okay, so this is why I'll never loan anyone one of my books, because I annotate in them, and I'm an idiot. This was my first idea, and I'll take it. I'll take it hard, because I was thinking, you know, when Nesta's in the House of Wind, all right, jumping forward to, they basically say, Nesta, last straw, you have an ultimatum. Go back to the human lands or live in the House of Wind, train with Cassian, and get your shit together, basically. Which, honestly, sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need someone to say, start working on yourself or we're done, because people have boundaries. But she gets in the House of Wind, and the house starts like talking to her, and I was like, oh, all these sweet things, and her and Nesta and Rhys are having tension, and all these sweet things are happening, and I'm thinking, oh, what if
it's Rhys's house?
What if it's Rhys's house? Like, he's the one.
What if he's the one doing this?
In her head? What if he's listening to her, and it was like this little friendship that Nesta didn't know that they had. I was very wrong.
Yeah, that was not true.
I was thinking too deep. It's just the house.
Yeah, I was also thinking way too deep into it.
And so there's a note in here that just says, Rhys is the house? No, idiot.
There weren't a whole lot of in-depth thoughts happening.
Like, they were like, Nesta, what do you mean you're talking? Cassian was like, who are you talking?
Fuck, bless you. Shit.
Sorry. But Cassian was like, who are you talking to? But anyways, that was it.
But Cassian does say at one point, he's like, yeah, it's enchanted. Like
of course. But
also
it's not sentient.
Yeah.
So what if it is?
Yeah. We thought way too deep into that. Jumping forward to, unless you have anything before them, but I thought the next like big thing was when Nesta wants the priestesses to come join her in training.
Yeah. So
and
just kind of, I
Cassian
figured just,
says this on 194. This was so important to me. And he says the priestesses might not be able to stomach having me present. And Nesta says, you'd never hurt anyone like that. And he said, it's not about that for them. It's about the fear, the trauma they bear. Even if they know I'd never do that to them, it might still drag up memories that are incredibly difficult for them to face.
the men who know, and I will say,
Well, the men
book,
don't know because this man is fake and real men in
true.
real life don't know.
That's true. But I will say, like, this book is one big trigger warning if you struggle with SA. There is lots of, I mean, that's the priestesses. They all have trauma.
Oh, yeah.
And that is specifically with men most of the time. And they understand that it doesn't matter if Cassian's the best. It doesn't matter if Rhys is the best. It doesn't matter if Azriel's the best. These women are traumatized. It just had nothing to do with your personality.
Right. And it has nothing to do with the...
And it's not about you at the end of the day.
Right. And it has
the
nothing
men
to do
like
with...
that. It's not about you.
It's not about you. It has nothing to do with the individual man. It has to do with men as a whole
men
collective.
in general, because it is the
it's the
loss
fear.
of control and the fear and the power, the physical power that men have.
Yeah.
And Cassian...
Really great. It was just, Sarah J. Maas really highlighted it.
Yeah. She
very,
does it
very well.
Very well. And explains it very well, where a lot of men miss the mark.
Yeah, men should read this book if for nothing else.
If for nothing else than that.
Yeah.
To understand the priestesses and where that fear is coming from. But I would say, so basically Nesta's already working in the library. She's meeting the priestesses. Gwen is a cutie butt. She also goes, she doesn't want to train at Windhaven. They start training at House of Wind. And Cassian beats himself up like a little sad boy because he's like, oh, I should have known. Why would she want to train in front of a bunch of jerks? The Illyrians are a bunch of jerks.
The Illyrians be getting under my fucking skin, I'll tell you what.
I understand why Azriel doesn't fully want to be associated with them.
Cassian is just like, I see the good in people. And I mean, Cassian really does see the good in people.
So Illyrian, but he has a point to prove to
he
himself
wants,
and to the Illyrians.
Yeah, and he wants them to be good.
I think the Illyrians had good, like when you break it down, like there are certain things, their principles are supposed to be good, but the men have just ruined it. They just ruined it. There are certain things that's like their old traditions, bad. But when it comes to like being warriors and being powerful and like strong and all this training, all good skills to have.
Oh yeah.
I need warriors. But you don't have to be a misogynistic jerk every 5 seconds. Okay. Thanks for that car. Vroom. But yeah, she goes to the priestesses and she starts inviting the priestesses to train, which I think is so powerful. Definitely risky.
They don't have a big wingspan.
Yeah. That guy driving his car, revving his engine, does not have a big wingspan.
Not a big wingspan.
Let me tell ya. Yeah, I also had that marked too on mine. And she's getting pretty discouraged. But meanwhile, we are also getting lots of tension between Nesta and Cassian. They have some little fights, but it's building up. And she starts falling down the stairs. When Nesta
I'm sorry, when she falls down the stairs, that shit made me laugh so fucking hard.
She was tumbling. Did we start another timer?
No. Damn.
Look at me.
I repeated it.
Okay.
Yeah. That was crazy.
That was crazy.
How did you do that?
I don't know.
You're
really
a witch.
talented.
Okay.
Witch.
Also,
we have a timer
God.
going so that our footage doesn't cut out again.
Nesta telling the Illyrians that she's a fucking witch every time she's there is so funny.
Before she even takes a break. No breath, no introductions. They're like, who is she? I'm a witch. Cassian's like, stop
She's not a
telling people
witch.
that.
She's not a witch.
Don't tell people you're a witch. She's like, I'm a witch. What if I am?
And then they get in their into a private room and she's like, hey, what does a witch do?
A witch? What's the difference between a witch and a fae? He's like, you tell them what you know what it means. You don't even know what it means.
Honestly, though, I respect her for it because that shit was hilarious. That was so funny. I relate to her on the, just the sole premise of trying to that too. But also just like saying the most irrational shit just to scare men. Me too, girl.
Yeah, you
Same.
do be doing.
I do be
every
doing
now and
that.
you say something, and even I'm like, huh?
Girl, it just be coming out. It's like there is not.
It's like Nesta. You can't help it. If any,
can't
okay,
help
here's
it.
the thing. Maddie is Nesta.
Yeah.
Maddie is Nesta.
Oh yeah.
I'm still giving Feyre. Reese does get a little annoying in this book, but
me and Reese are about to fucking box.
I love Cassian. I think if I had
Cassian is the only one that's not problematic.
yeah, Azriel's got some issues, but we'll get to that later.
I will never slander Azriel.
But that's kind of how I feel about Reese. You need to read Mist and Fury again.
I do.
I can't get over Reese. I love my High Lord.
I love him
Cassian,
too.
though, Cassian was always my second. And so with this book, Cassian and Reese they're battling it out in my heart right now.
Yeah.
Next. So she invites the priestesses. She gets worried. It's not working out. She falls down the stairs a bunch of times. Hilarious. And then Feyre's pregnant. Feyre's pregnant. Blah, blah, blah. Everyone gets excited, and even Nesta says congratulations. And she has a moment here. This book has also a lot of sisterly healing.
Yeah.
Has a moment here of, I can already tell Feyre loves that baby more than our mother ever loved us.
Yeah.
Like, so much there. I gotta jump ahead. My next note is 244.
Oh yeah. My next note of substance is 326.
So, Nesta and Cassian, finally, she comes up the stairs, and he's grating on her nerves. And instead of running, she grabs us by the neck. And they start going to town.
And he creams. He creams his face.
That's the thing. That's why I'm like, listen, if y'all want that tension and that exciting, like, sexy book read Mist and Fury, because Silver Flames, Cassian wears his heart on his sleeve. He cannot hide it. He cannot cover it up. Reese could control himself a little bit. He could hide his urges and kind of play it off. Cassian can't.
He's not as bad as Lucian. Like Cassian will hide that.
Like, Elaine
Lucian
fell out
like,
of the cauldron, and he said, "I think I love you."
Literally.
And has been that he's walking on eggshells. He's really like, I don't know.
Elaine exists, and Lucian's like,
"Hey girl,
here you go. This is my
heart. Take it,
and
shred
Elaine's
it, do
like,
whatever you want with it.
Get the hell away from me, you fucking nasty."
He's hard. He
Cassian's
has a
just
temper.
like-
That's his red flag a little bit, is that he has a bit of a temper.
Yeah.
And he snaps, but Nesta does the same shit. But this moment, Nesta's like, you know what? She's playing the game. They want Cassian to play this like political game with other people. He can't do it. He struggles so hard to not show his cards.
He gets better.
He gets better, but at first he's like, it's just not a strong suit, where it's Nesta's. Nesta was taught to play the game. And so they're making out. They're going crazy. She can't even get his pants off because he's wearing his leathers, like his Illyrian leathers. And so she just fiddles.
Not fiddles.
And he lets it loose in his pants. Icky. But then they get in another argument, and basically he goes to her, and I don't know what it was. Was she thinking he regretted it? Or what was it? Because Cassian shows up, and he says, blah, blah, blah. I can't say it out loud.
Okay.
I can't say it on the pod. I can't. This is the line I'm talking about. On 244, he's basically saying that my mistake was that I didn't give the favor in return, and that you ran away. That's the only thing I regret, is that because she runs away after.
Yeah, and I think he didn't seek her out for a few days. I don't remember if that was
whatever it was. And then she says, "You were quick off the mark." She kind of digs that knife in a little bit
so
deeper.
Funny.
But Cassian went on. The only mistake. Oh yeah, he thought it was a mistake, and so she's like, "He didn't like me." Girl, come on.
She's depressed.
And Cassian went on. The only mistake was that you ran off before I could get on my knees. These men
bark.
Getting on their knees.
Bark, 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 bark.
Literally, these men love to bow. They love to kneel. They love to get on the ground for women. in the best way.
I was gonna say, but not in the bitch boy way that Tamlin
not
did.
like Tamlin.
Because Tamlin did be getting on his knees, but in front of other men.
Yeah.
That's...
He bowed for Rhys, which, I mean, me too, Tamlin. I get it. I'm with you, brother. He's hard to turn down.
Yeah.
And then the next thing I have... Ooh. Listen, this is the section. We get a lot, you know, Cassian and Feyre... I wish. Cassian and Nesta start their little love game. Let's play a love game, play a love game. They get in their little back and forth. Are we friends? Are we more? What are we? Do we like each other? Is it just sex? And Nesta keeps saying it's just sex. He keeps leaving the room every time. And this is Cassian deciding. It says 2:50. It was to be a game then. Cassian threw her a grin and declared he was in, and he'd make her crawl before the end. Shut up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
And then let's skip ahead a little bit. So she's also training while all this is going on.
Yeah.
And going up and down the stairs every day. And we're starting to get some Emery, Gwen, and Nesta friendship action happening.
Yeah.
I love them. I love that friendship. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. I thought I liked Feyre and Moore's friendship, and I do.
Yeah, they're
but
great.
This
the
three
trio.
of them, the trio, the Valkyries.
It's good.
It's so good. And it's so
good.
wholesome. Emery starts showing up to training. Gwen starts showing up to training. And then more priestesses start showing up. Azriel starts helping out. It's becoming this whole thing. And they're also adding in Valkyrie techniques to the Illyrian training.
Yeah.
And we had our playlist of Illyrian training on
it's
Spotify.
Now
it is now Valkyrie.
training.
And now I understand. We had seen playlists like that.
Yeah.
And now I'm like,
that's why.
That's why.
Yeah.
The Valkyries have 100%. It going on.
The Valkyries are hot.
They're hot.
Love the Valkyries.
They're hot.
I feel like there's just a lot of tension.
There is a lot of tension. There's a lot of this, like, that little, there's that little presence in the library that's, like, kind of calling to Nesta, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And this is where we get to the part about the house, right? She's in the library. Or, like, it's, like, about to be, well, I guess Solstice is later, but she has this friendship with the house. They're giving each other books. And if that isn't a book girlie's dream.
Yeah.
And the way the house loves romance novels too. The House of Wind is part of the book club.
Yeah, no dead ass.
He's giving Bryaxis. He's a cutie butt.
I would say the house is a girl.
Is she? I wasn't really giving the house a gender. In my mind,
yeah.
They're just a little sweetie.
Just a little sweetie.
Just a little sweetie. I love the house. And I love their friendship.
Bryaxis was giving boy cat.
You're so right.
Yeah.
You're so right. Suriel giving the drama. The gossip, the drama. The Suriel,
I love the Suriel.
Bryaxis, and the house. I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with them.
Me too.
They bring so much goodness to this series.
I think the next, like, thing of importance, it's like a jump, but I feel like there's just
we're kind of jumping all over the place.
There's just like training, tension, and
the girls are getting strong.
Yeah.
And the priestesses are getting brave.
And Nesta is still having these nightmares, and then she has that specific one. Rhys is still being a dick.
He is. Oh.
He's really pissing me off. But then Amryn would have caught my fucking hands for 90% of this goddamn book. Like, I'm not even kidding.
I was so
Amryn
mad
was
at her.
pissing
I was
me
so mad
off.
at her. So mad.
Yeah. But then she has that nightmare, and Rhys, like, you know, Cassie and Azriel are like, shit. And then Rhys shows up, and Rhys is like, you know, getting in her head after Cassian says her name, and then she like opens for a minute. Rhys gets in her head, and he was like, wow, she's traumatized.
Literally.
No shit.
That's the first time we see the silver flames, too.
Yeah.
This weird power that Nesta has that's like flames, but they're cold.
Yeah.
And it's like
the actual, like, around her. Because we'd seen them in her eyes.
Yeah, and Rhys does finally have a moment of like, I guess she actually is really traumatized. Yeah.
Obviously. Like, Reese, babe.
Literally. And Cassian stays with her all night long.
Yeah, loved that.
Loved that. And then also, too, back to the Amryn thing. The way that they didn't want her, they were, like, Amryn started to be afraid of her. And that's, like, a big theme, even with just ACOTAR in general. Like, Feyre and Reese, they didn't want to be afraid of each other. Nesta doesn't want anyone to be afraid of her. Because it's, like, this theme of, like, everybody has mistakes. They all have a dark side of them. You have to find somebody, you have to find friends who are okay and open to seeing that and, like, being there for that.
Yeah.
And Amryn was supposed to be Nesta's friend. She's a bad friend.
Yeah. Amryn was...
It's giving jealousy. It's giving, I don't have my powers anymore and you have lots of powers.
Yeah, she was definitely bitter about the fact that, I don't know, in my head, I'm thinking she was bitter about the fact that she didn't have powers anymore and now Nesta is the most powerful. But also, before that happens, you know what happens before that? The mask.
You're right. We totally skipped over that. It's not a bog. It's like a swamp, sort of. Do they call it a bog?
Oh, yeah, the bog.
Okay, yeah, the bog. It's, like, swampy, disgusting. All right, Azriel gets attacked. They're looking for the mask, right? The first trove. And she gets swept under the water. First of all, Nesta pee-pees in her panties.
Yeah, because that thing was coming at her.
I know. It was. I'm picturing it like this.
The Grudge.
We're picturing the Grudge.
Like coming out all fucked up and...
icky.
Yeah, and broken as hell.
I will say, I didn't like the description of the pee-pee.
Oh my God. And then when Cassian came...
didn't want him to know.
And he was like, oh, I sent her and piss.
Dang,
ew.
She pissed herself.
I mean, they still bow before her. Like, she has piss running down her leg. They're like,
but
nice.
Hear me out. This is baller, okay? She's had trauma with men before. She's had trauma with SA before.
Fuck Thomas. On that note.
But, the way that they describe, what's it called? What is it called? That little creature, that water creature.
The one that gets her?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I don't even remember. I'm like right there. I just have to find it. The Kelpie.
The Kelpie. That weirdo little slithering, disgusting thing. And we don't know what it's saying at the time, but Amryn ends up translating later.
But also though she had fought back against Thomas, against the Cauldron, against the King of Hybern, and they had all happened to her. She survived, but she'd been helpless and afraid. Not today. Today, she would happen to him.
She would happen to him. That's it, girl. That is it. That is it. She said, that's like a big theme, too, with all of these women, the Valkyries, the priestesses training. They were out of control at one point, and they will never feel that way again. And I could cry talking about it.
I am obsessed with the female character arcs.
And the way that she gets the mask and slams it on, and she rips into him, has a legion of the dead. And the thing
she is death herself.
She is the queen of death. And then what happens? She's coming out of the water, right? These skeleton rotting away soldiers. I've seen so much fan art of this, and we were so wrong about what it was.
For the longest time, I literally thought it was
the King
fucking
of Hybern's
King of
head.
Hybern.
But no, it was this scene. She's holding the Kelpie's head. She has this thing with beheading, and I love that.
Oh, yeah.
It's giving Marie Antoinette. It's giving, I'm going to chop your head off because I don't like you. And I live for that. But then the thing is, Cassian and Azriel see her, and they're like, what the fuck is happening? But it's like an Illyrian thing that they bow to death because they're warriors. They go out there, they're ready to die on the battlefield, and they bow. Both of them bow.
Azriel tries not to, which is on his part, but
but still,
he does.
He does, though. He bows, and Cassian was like, "That's my girl.
Yeah,
that's my girl."
And then I think this is still before. Oh yeah, it is, because this is in between the meeting that they all have.
Yeah.
Also, then we get some tension between Gwen and Az, which is so cutie butt. So cute.
I think I'm an Az. There's lots of people who ship Az and
Elaine
and Az and more. That's wrong. That's just wrong. Shut up. No, you don't. I am a Gwen and Az shipper because I love Gwen. I think, I don't know enough about Elaine yet, but I think Gwen has enough to challenge Az. Az is quiet. He's reserved. Gwen, she's going to say it.
Gwen
she's
is
gonna say
so
cute, and I'm obsessed with her. But I think...
Oh, and before then, she has the interaction with Tamlin. When her,
Cassian, and Aerys. Cassian's got his allergies flaring up.
Oh my God. Those are my favorite memes.
I hate the spring court.
He says, fuck the spring court. I am itchy as hell. I keep sneezing. There's pollen fucking everywhere. I'm sick of this shit. Get me out of here.
This is the worst. It's that sound. This is the worst.
This is the worst.
Yeah.
So literally. Funny, but she has that interaction, and I think it's so funny. The reoccurring theme of every time she points, everybody's like,
don't cut my head off.
Don't point at
me.
That's
how she pointed at the Kelpie.
Yeah, she pointed at the King of Hybern. He ended up with his head gone. Pointed at the Kelpie.
You, it's a death
ended up
sentence.
With his head gone. So every time she points at someone, like even Tamlin was like, "Oh fuck!"
Even when
dodging
she pointed
the point.
at Amryn was like,
"Yeah." Amryn moved like inches to the side.
It's like, what do you think's gonna happen? She's
like, "You think I'm gonna kill you?" Yeah, I fucking might, bitch.
I might.
Watch where you're fucking stepping.
I might. The way she walks in on Amryn and Varian,
just cowgirl, like going crazy.
And she walks in and she's like.
Pissed. But yeah, and then Nesta smiled. I'm glad you remember what happened to the last person I pointed at. We're going now. Tell anyone you saw as High Lord and I'll rip your head from your body.
There you go.
I'm obsessed with her.
This is also, I feel like, in my opinion, the first moment that Aerys is like, okay, Nesta.
Aerys is like,
okay, Nesta.
That kind of tastes good. I kind of like that.
That's kind of good.
It's kind of interesting.
Kind of up in there. And then, let's see, where are we at in the timeline?
We get her eventually on 471. Her connection to music and dance.
We learn that Nesta is a dancing girl. She loves music. And the line is, the training would sustain her, funnel that rage, but there had to be more. There had to be joy. There had to be music. And if that ain't the epitome of an artist or a creative person, or honestly just women, I think that is such a good example of like the feminine energy that I could go on a rant about, but I won't. Is that yes, she wants to train and feel powerful and in control, and it would funnel that anger, because female rage is something so untapped into for most women, but it's also so powerful. But she also still is just a girl.
Yeah. And
she needs to have music and her creative outlet. And when she's dancing, she is just like free. And I love that for her. I think it is beautiful.
Okay, well, I think I might have gotten, the timeline a little bit wrong.
Huh?
Oh my God, where is it?
What are you looking for?
I'm trying to get to the fucking meeting between Amryn and...
with the swords.
Yeah.
Yes. So Nesta...
But already at 480 is when Nesta's standing in Amryn's apartment. So it has to be before then, but I can't fucking find it. But I remember it enough. I can just talk about it.
Yeah.
Dog, fuck Amryn. Amryn literally is like, hey Reese, you should be shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, Amryn. Oh my God. What do you mean?
And this was my hypothesis, was that Amryn's feeling insecure, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking she was like, oh, because we have some foreshadowing later that the last High King was betrayed by a queen and his general, Nesta, Queen of Death, and Cassian.
Yeah.
So Amryn can vaguely remember this. And so I'm thinking she's like, even if she's not consciously thinking it, she's almost projecting onto Reese that's like, be the High King. Don't let Nesta know about it, though, so Nesta can't be queen, can't betray you.
Right.
And therefore, Cassian will also not
But it
betray
doesn't
you.
make sense, because all Reese wants is for the seven...
Yeah.
Like the seven High Lords to...
He just wants
get along.
Amryn's like, why do you need
that's
courts?
really what one of the main reasons that I think Amryn is having a very hard time coming to terms with the fact that she doesn't have powers anymore, because she doesn't have her powers anymore, and now she's like, well, somebody I know should be,
and seeing something like in
should be the
something like
most
that in Nesta,
powerful.
who is the most powerful in this book. Nobody knows what her power. Nobody can, even Reese can't measure up. From what we've seen, anyways, with the troves at least, even Reese can't measure up to the power that she took from the cauldron.
Right.
And also sprinkling in there the fact that Feyre is pregnant with an Illyrian baby. Baby has wings. Cannot birth the baby because she is not in an Illyrian body. Basically, they're like, it's a death sentence for her and the baby, which means it's a death sentence for Reese. And they don't tell her.
Also, now that I'm thinking of it, when they're all sitting in this room discussing, well, maybe we shouldn't tell Nesta like about the swords and her power. It's giving Tamlin being like, well, I don't want to tell Feyre that she has the powers of all 7 High Lords.
That's giving Amren was giving Tamlin.
Like,
it was giving very Reese that he was like, I don't want to tell Feyre about how bad it actually is.
Yeah.
About her own baby, her own body.
All of that shit.
It's her partner,
was
and
really annoying.
Really annoying. Really annoying.
That's
really annoying.
Amren, I want to beat her ass. Reese, also want to beat his ass. Like,
in
those
this moment,
scenes,
yes, I agree,
were making me so enraged.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Terrible.
That
and
scene sucked, and I hated all of it.
So mad. But okay, so the next note that I have is basically she scries whatever, they find the mask, and then she finds out through Cassian's asking her, what would you name a sword, because Cassian, he can't lie to her, he cannot hide his emotions from her, which I appreciate.
Yeah,
I want to know what you're feeling, I think that is a good trait to have. But she finds out, Cassian ends up telling her everything. He's stumbling, word vomiting, tells her that they voted. They were talking about her behind her back. And that's a big thing that Nesta doesn't like. She doesn't like when people discuss her.
I'm really hot.
Without her being there. Yeah, you are, girl.
Oh.
But she whatever. She goes in, screams at Amren. This fight happens, right? She's yelling at Amren. Amren is saying some good points here and there that, she shut everybody out.
She tried to give her space. She still wasn't getting better, so she really had no option but
she was making some good points. She also made a good point that it was like, we all experienced this. Yeah. And you're acting like we didn't.
Right.
Good points, handled poorly. And then Feyre comes in. And Feyre's like, what's going on? And Feyre has a moment of like, almost tells Amren to leave, but then doesn't. And then Nesta gets that feeling of, she's choosing her over me. I'm alone.
And Nesta also gets like, okay, you're showing her so much respect, but like,
but you won't let them do that to me,
right?
And here's my thing with the sister stuff. This is where another point where I get frustrated with Nesta, but I get it. I get it because I know what's in her head, but I empathize with Feyre because Feyre has done everything out of love for her, and Nesta is just acting like it's her own thing and nobody gets her. And Feyre's like, I literally do. Yeah. And she's like so angry at Feyre and thinks that Feyre doesn't love her, which is insane. It's insane.
She's depressed.
She is, and that's what I'm saying. I get it.
Valeris needs a fucking 12 therapists at least.
Literally, they need their own personal one for the inner circle. But anyways, Nesta gets mad and is like, oh, you think they respect you? Because and this is a good point on Nesta. She's like, they lied to me. They're doing the same thing to you, Feyre. Yeah. And I'll check the footage in 1 second. Just try to make sure it doesn't shut off. Yeah. But she's like, she's acting like they respect her as High Lady, but she's like, oh, they respect you so much.
They talk about you behind your back too.
They're talking about you behind your back too.
They're deciding on votes what you get to do with your body and what you get to know
about your body and your baby. And
Did you know that?
She tells Feyre about how actually detrimental that is that her baby is Illyrian. Yeah. And how are we feeling about how Nesta told her?
See, if it was, because I very much relate to Nesta, this is what I would have done. If I were Nesta, what I would have gone about it, very much in the same manner, in the sense
That is
that
very you. You're like,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna freaking tell you.
oh, you think you get to vote about me behind my back? And she's like, we do respect you. And she's like, yeah, no, you don't. And also they don't respect you either, fucking bitch. And here's why.
Yeah.
I would have been.
That's the thing. You're not gonna stop. You're gonna keep.
I wouldn't
Once
have
you're
said,
going, you're going.
I would have said, I wouldn't have explicitly said the baby's gonna fucking kill you.
Yeah,
I would have
she said it in a pretty harsh way when
would have
talking about
said-
somebody's unborn child. That
Yeah.
was a little harsh.
I would have been like, do you know the risks of your pregnancy?
Mm-hmm.
And she would have been like, what do you mean? I was like, maybe you should have a conversation with your husband who tells you so much because he respects you so much. Why don't you ask him?
And you probably would have said it like that.
And I probably would have said it exactly like that. So I wish Nesta would have just been like kind of alluding to the fact that like Reese doesn't tell you everything. Neither does the inner circle. They all know, but you don't.
Because the thing I didn't like,
I didn't like that she explicitly told her.
I didn't like that. And I also didn't like that she had sworn to Reese, I'm not going to tell her.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. But fuck Reese. I'm so mad at him right now. Me and Reese have beef, which is saying
But
something.
Reese still wasn't your top bat boy in the first place.
Oh, yeah, that first episode, I said I would.
You said you'd kill Reese.
I don't remember who I'd fucking marry, but yeah, I did
Marry
say
Az, and then
yeah,
whatever.
and I'd kill
If
Reese.
you haven't watched that one, go watch it.
I stand by that.
Yeah, literally.
I love Reese.
I think
but
for me, if I was in Nesta's position with Feyre, honestly, I probably would have done the same thing because Feyre is a doer. She's like, whatever the issue is, she's the only one making sense in a lot of these conversations.
No, dead ass.
About the weapons and about war, whatever it is. When it comes to Nesta, everybody else, even Cassian, is so emotionally charged.
Mm-hmm.
How is the 21-year-old pregnant lady the
only
speaking
one.
the most sense? The whole
Yeah.
time she's like, first of all,
you
you're
bitches
all
are
psycho.
500. You bitches, Amron's 10,000.
Yeah, and Amron's being the worst.
Yeah.
And so everyone's going to Feyre. Feyre's the only one spitting any sense in this entire book. She consistently is on the mark.
Yeah.
And I love Feyre. But if I was Nesta, I probably would have been like, really? If they respect you, what is it with these cars and they're revving their engines?
Florida.
It's the same guy. It's the same guy. He heard what we said about his wingspan.
Well, not made it smaller.
But if I was Nesta, I probably would have said something like, I would have been like, they don't really tell you everything either. And when Feyre was like, she would have been like, what do you mean? I would have been like, ask your husband what they're hiding from you. It's not my place to tell you. I would have said that because I have a little more self-control than
you are
you.
Feyre. You are you think about things before
I'd
they
be
come out
mad.
of your mouth. I don't think about things before they come out of my mouth. You piss me off, bitch. Rest in peace to you.
Rest in peace to you.
Like you dug yourself your own grave. I guess I shouldn't say I will not be held responsible for what I say because like absolutely I should be, but also I'm a little crazy.
No, and I love it. We balance each other. Because sometimes I should be crazy.
Ultimately, I wish Nesta wouldn't have explicitly said what was happening. I wish she would have just been elusive.
But she did also have her own moment of like, that was too far.
Yeah.
She hurt her sister in trying to get her point across.
Yeah. And I bet the conversation between Feyre and Reese was probably really fucking heated.
Yeah. And that's the thing.
Because I don't think Reese would have gotten as mad if Feyre didn't come in fucking on fire, pissed off.
Yeah. And the thing is jumping ahead to that, I want to backtrack to her hike with Cassian, Nesta's hike with Cassian.
Oh yeah.
But later on, Feyre even after being hurt, and this just makes me love Feyre even more, and shows that she does understand Nesta.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, they're sisters.
They're sisters.
And they are different.
Yeah. Even
but
Elaine
they are
understands
very
Nesta.
similar in the sense that they don't want their life being discussed without them or behind their back, which I feel like is
valid.
Any normal person would probably want that extended to them.
Because it's respect.
Right.
That's what that is. And later on, even in their mind, they're talking when Nesta comes back, after the hike or whatever. And Feyre's like, I forgive you. Yeah. I'm more mad at everyone else. Yeah. She was like, it wasn't like, I don't appreciate the way. Yeah. But she was like, I get it though. And the same thing, Elaine, and this leads to what I want to talk about in the hike.
Because they didn't tell Elaine either. The only reason, and I think that's why Reese was so mad and was like to Cassian, was like, get her the fuck out of here, was because he was also mad at Cassian because Cassian is the one who told Nesta.
And I think he was mad at himself. I think that was the only reason he told Cassian, you need to get her out of here. Because I think Reese knew. Everyone's getting fed up with Reese because he's being a mother hen. He's getting too protective, too controlling. You can be protective without being controlling. But there's a moment where Elaine is like talking to everyone. It's just like a little chapter where they're chatting at a dinner table. And Elaine's talking about, this is when Elaine and Nesta aren't even talking to each other, but she's talking about Nesta, her and Feyre are with all the inner circle there, and saying that she was always born different. She always had this fire in her that Elaine describes her almost as like a caged wolf, a wolf who never learned how to be a wolf. Yeah. And that brings me to one of my notes on page 500. She is going on this hike. And she with Cassian, and she is not doing well. I mean, this is probably the lowest point for Nesta. She runs away from Feyre. She is guilt-ridden, hates herself, and she doesn't want to live anymore. Yeah. And Cassian is just doing the best he can. He's doing all he knows how to do. All right? Trying to lead her to this land that Moore told him was meant for healing. And you know what I appreciate about Cassian? He didn't try to understand her in the moment. There are some things that you have to work through on your own.
Yeah, he says that at one point. He's like, I can't fix it for her. Nobody can fix it for her. She's got to want to fix it herself.
Yeah, and I think...
Which is true.
You need to have a support system.
Absolutely.
But they can't help yourself.
Anybody who's ever struggled with mental health, or like even as far as addiction, if you don't want to get better yourself, you won't. Yeah. You have to want it for yourself.
And sometimes it takes hitting rock bottom. This was Nesta's rock bottom. Yeah. Regardless of any points she had, any wrongdoings that the inner circle did, she had also done some wrong things. Yeah. And she hated herself for it. And she also blamed herself for things that weren't her fault. Yeah. And it was just having a bad time. But on page 500, I highlighted, she had already spent a little while like blaming herself or whatever. And Nesta says, she had been born wrong. She'd been born with claws and fangs and had never been able to keep from using them, never been able to quell that part that roared at betrayal. Elaine had been the only one who perhaps grasped it, and now her sister loathed her. And that's like Elaine was saying, they were talking about Feyre, or they were talking about Nesta in that way that was like, oh, she's something different. She was always something more, not in a bad way. Yeah. But Nesta thinks that she had been born wrong and there was something wrong with her that needed to be fixed, and that was just not the case. Yeah. And so she finally breaks down, gets to the end of the hike, loses it. Yeah. Bless Cassian, and he just sits there with her and tells her all the right things. He says, like, if you need to forgive some people, do that, but you also need to forgive yourself. Yeah. It wasn't your fault that any of these things happened, X, Y, and Z, and it's also, you're not broken. Yeah. And that hurt me. That hurt me in my bones. Where are we at next? Yeah, I had a note that said, I still don't know how to fix myself. And Cassian said, there's nothing broken to be fixed. Weeping. Yeah. So many people need to hear that. And it gets real deep.
And then the girls have a sleepover. Very cute.
The sleepover
was so cute.
I'm obsessed with the
sleepover. The vibes were so cute. And then
it was girlhood.
What happens between the sleepover and Cassian loses his temper in Valeris and is like, you're my fucking mate. Why don't I just say it? And she's like, because if I say it, then that's like the last thing that like that's the last thing that keeps me from like ever being a human again. She's still having that hard time with like the transition, but then she leaves. They go to Windhaven.
But we didn't talk about the night court. What? The dancing. Her and Eris. Okay. Listen,
bro.
This episode might be an hour and a half. It's fine.
Eris
had me in that moment.
Eris was...
Sarah J. Maas has taught me so many things. One of those being that I am easily swayed. Eris is a little stinker butt, but when he was dancing...
You've charmed me.
You've charmed me.
Eris. Like,
And
why?
she's like, listen, I'm a dance. One thing about me, I'm a dance. And
when
I
was that? When
this
did
was
that happen?
before the sleepover, I'm pretty sure. This was just when it was after
Was it after
the harp thing, I think.
Was it after the blow up at Amryn or before the blow up at Amryn?
After. It was after. Because they're like, okay, the only thing that really happened in the Night Court, the reason they were there is it was solstice, right? It was around solstice time. They wanted to make sure that Eris knew that they were still on his side.
Yeah.
Because there had been some with his warriors and everything, and they were worried.
Yeah, there was a little
Tamlin
tension.
knew there was some tension there. They wanted to reaffirm that for him. And so they were like, listen, we got to show up. We got to get Nesta to woo him. Make him think this is what he can have. This is what we're willing to give him almost, or offer him as an ally. And Nesta's like, yeah, I'll play the game, because that's what she does. Yeah. Starts taking some dance lessons with Moore, which is cutie butt. And then she gets out there on that dance floor and goes crazy. I would love to see this chapter specifically. Yeah. In film.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. The imagery, crazy, and the way that I'm sorry. Eris kept up. And there's one thing about me, I love a dancer.
I think I just love men written by Sarah J. Maas.
Yeah.
But Eris was charming me in that moment.
And he was getting charmed by Nesta.
Yeah.
And then even Feyre's over there like, dang, I didn't realize she really can make you fall in love with her.
Yeah, the whole
He
room.
wants to marry her after 3 dances. And even Feyre's like, a proposal? After 3? That's power. That's power.
Yeah. I mean, like, Eris seems like the kind of man that doesn't know things, because also, I mean, I guess Moore was like sold to him.
Yeah.
Rather than him like making an offer. But like.
Yeah. But one thing I liked about Eris was that he saw a little glimmer of Nesta's power, and he was like, I think you're wasted in the Night Court.
As if
he was
brother, though, as if as if the Autumn
could
Court
not be more wrong.
Like Baron literally beats the fuck up out of his wife. Are you fucking kidding me?
Also, though, remember that Eris has never seen Valeris. Still, they still never Kiera still never came to Valeris.
Yeah,
but Cassian steps in, and we find out that cutie butt Cassian has also been taking dance lessons
with Moore.
I throw myself on the ground. He's already got me wrecked. Shipwrecked. And then he starts dancing. Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Cute.
And Elaine gets to, or not Elaine, I keep mixing up their names.
Oh my God.
She gets to dance with Azriel too. Nesta gets all
Nesta's
3.
my girl. I love her. She gets Eris, Cassian, and Az in one night.
And she's
just like
living it up, dude.
Love that.
And then that's when they get in a fight on Solstice. And that's when he was like, I'm your fucking mate.
Yeah.
Get with it. And then they get jiggy with it. But she still hasn't. No, that she does. She accepts she doesn't accept mating necessarily.
No, she leaves. She makes Moore winnow her to Windhaven. And that's.
You're right. No.
Pissed.
They have Solstice Night before Windhaven. Solstice Night was when he says, I'm your mate. And it's not?
No, they just like bang on Solstice Night. It's after that.
Because he gives her that gift. And she cries, and she's like, I'm going to marry Eris. And he's like, the fuck you are?
Yeah, he doesn't say you're my mate, though.
He doesn't? Okay.
No, he's just like, there's no one else for you or me. And then when they're in the town, he's like, you're my mate. Why won't you say
you're
it?
right. You're right.
And
but in that
he's
moment,
like, it's just a word. And she's like,
because,
no.
they did everything. And that was when the bond kind of clicked into place, when they were getting jiggy.
When they were banging.
There was like the imagery of the thread connecting and like, for sure.
And then he lost his temper in town, and she was like, and
then went to Windhaven. Yep.
And then they got fucking kidnapped,
like dropped into the right.
So the Sarah J. Maas, like every book, I'm like, oh, there's not a lot of pages left, and then it's like the biggest fucking plot twist that you can imagine.
When we flipped through the book originally, because we try not to like flip through the book so we don't see any spoilers, but we thought, okay, 3 parts. We're thinking like Wings and Ruin, 3 parts to this book. Mm-hmm. And then we get to part 4.
Yeah, we were like, what the fuck?
Because we thought Valkyrie was the last part.
Yeah.
And then they get to the right, which is whatever she names her sword.
Yeah.
I can't remember how to say it.
I don't even remember what it is.
Craziness. They get dropped into the right.
Insane.
And when we were reading this, every time it switched back to Cassian's point of view, I didn't want it. I want to know what's happening in the right. Okay.
I do not give a fuck about fuck ass Eris and his.
Yeah.
I cannot stress that enough. Shut up.
Literally.
I am too stressed about my women, my girls right now.
Yes.
I need to know
about this.
how they're doing.
I know. And the charm bracelets. Literally, you can't tell me Taylor Swift didn't read these books.
The charm bracelet, the friendship bracelets.
Loving it.
So cute.
Loving it.
The lighting changed. But it got brighter.
That's okay.
Hopefully it doesn't
mess
up. But yeah.
They get to the right.
The right was really stressful. I don't really feel like we need to talk too much about the right.
But what we do need to talk about is the fact that they get kidnapped, dropped into the right.
And it's just not like addressed at all. Like literally, I mean, like I know they cannot do anything about it.
And that they were the Illyrians, some of them at least. I don't think Belius was, but some of the Illyrians were possessed by Bryalan with the crown. Got them to do her bidding.
I think Belius
he was just wanting to do it.
He was just a piece of shit.
He just sucked.
Yeah, he just sucked.
But the way that they just get dropped into the right and then they get out and everyone's like,
well, now Feyre's dying, so everybody focus your attention on Feyre. We don't give a fuck that Nesta just like obviously went through all of this trauma with the cauldron, and then we were belittling her for so long,
and now she
got kidnapped.
Completed the right in a way that only Cassian, Az, and Rhys had ever done.
She didn't.
Okay, technically she didn't, but the thing is if she had been on her own, she would have.
Yeah.
But Emery and Gwen did.
Yeah. And they're like, too bad, so sad. We actually don't give a fuck because Feyre's in this room and obviously we have to turn our attention to her.
Yeah, because she's dying.
Which like,
bleeding out on the bed.
Yeah. But I was just like, we're not
still mad at Rhys. You're like,
we're not going to address this.
Literally.
We're not going to.
Literally.
Like, I get it. But like, literally the book fucking ends and we still haven't addressed the fact that they literally got fucking kidnapped.
Yeah. What the heck? And I will say, Gwen being a baddie, love her. I called it that she would be the first to cut the ribbon.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah.
Love Gwen. Love Emery, but really love Gwen. And I just think that that's insane that they were like, yeah. So then Feyre's right. Feyre's given birth. Okay. And Nesta, I love this sisterly healing moment, gives up her power, some of it at least, to save Feyre. And here's
bitch ass Rhys.
And stop hating on my man.
I'm so mad at him.
But she's literally in there and she's like, I give it back. And then we find out that even while Feyre's dying, Nesta says, I love you to Feyre for the first time ever.
To anyone.
She's
never said I love you.
And Feyre can hear her. She's dying, but we don't know that Feyre can hear her, but she can, which I love.
Yeah. And
they all wake up, whatever, and they're watching this happen. And now Rhys is on his hands and knees for Nesta. He's giving her gifts. He's giving her jewelry. He said, you want to have of this, like, whatever you want. You've got it. Gives her the House of Wind. Nesta is like, okay, Rhys is on his knees bowing to Nesta.
Yeah.
Because he's like, you're right, I suck. But she doesn't give up all her power. But I think that's the thing, is that Nesta had so much power. She could have ruled the world.
Yeah.
And now
she didn't want to.
She still has some power. She still has that power, but not to the same extent.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone ever realized exactly how much power she had.
Yeah.
When she flipped out at the right and thinks Cassian is dead. And it literally says, like, mountains quaked in Valeris. Their house in the Mortal Lands turned to rubble.
Mm-hmm.
From where she was in the Illyrian Mountains, all the way to destroying their cottage in the Mortal Land. She leveled it.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Crazy.
Yeah, no, her power's insane. I was really hope that she didn't give up all of her power because I will be very sad. Mm-hmm. But
so good.
The book was great. I genuinely cannot get over the fact that so much trauma happened to Nesta and we just so quickly shift back to fucking pregnancy. Babe, Jesus Christ.
Okay,
also,
they had to.
I hated it.
They had to.
They did not have to. This was supposed to be Nesta's story.
But it's still happening. Feyre still had to have their little cutie baby.
and die from it.
Yeah, but it was also important for Nesta's character development.
Yes, I do think that. I also think that therapy would be important for Nesta's character development.
And while she's at the right, Nesta does admit Cassian's her mate. She accepts the mating boy. And she gives him a cracker. She said, you can have this cracker.
No, she said you can have the stale ass chip, or we can have a very crazy wedding.
And they do both.
He's like, fine,
I guess.
We can do the fucking crazy.
Reese pays for the wedding.
Yeah, as he should.
Amazing, love it. And they're still training. The Valkyries are still training. The house gives her a solstice gift. It's a little tree. The library deep down where Braxis stayed was the heart of the house. Beautiful. There's so much to talk about in this book, and I love it. But we're already at an hour and 10. I love it. I love this book. And I can't wait to see more of these girls. Do we get more of these girls?
Oh fuck, I hope so.
But does the trio, like, they exist in, like, is it Throne of Glass, or is that a whole new people?
Is that a whole new people? I think it's a whole new people, but I'm not sure.
I thought we got more of the trio sometime.
I also saw a TikTok earlier that said something about Reese, and it was a Throne of Glass book. So unsure about that. If anybody has read Throne of Glass,
we'll get there.
But
let's do some book club questions. Hold on, before we get into the questions, I also have to take my cardigan off because
it's roasty.
Toasty. The sun came out a little bit.
Okay, ready?
Here we go. Book club questions.
Okay, the first one was, or I feel like we've kind of talked about this, but do you like the complexity behind Nesta's character? I relate to her very much. Again, I think the people who don't like Nesta have never needed an antidepressant or like therapy.
Literally.
She sucks sometimes.
Yeah,
that's
don't
human.
We all?
But I was going to say, that's literally human nature.
And I think, too, I resonate more with Feyre, but I understand a lot of the points in Nesta when she's, like, crying and feeling broken. Yeah. You either get it or you don't. And
right.
If you don't get it, then you're probably not reading these books. If you don't get Nesta, you probably haven't resorted to needing fantasy winged men to fill your days.
Yeah.
So I loved it, and we saw an Instagram reel or a TikTok or something that it was like, I want complex female characters, but then you won't.
And then you get one, and you're like, I don't like her though.
Literally, it's giving. Reese had some issues. I'm still a Reese stan. I'm a Bat Boy stan. The Bat Boys have some issues.
Oh, they're traumatized for sure.
Yeah. I mean, one thing we didn't cover before we jump to that really quick, the next question, even Asriel. In his he has a bonus chapter at the end of Silver Flames. He's doing this. Do I like Elaine? Can't have Elaine. Lucien is her mate. Whatever. Gives Elaine a necklace. She gives it back because he almost kisses her, and then Reese is like, "Stay away from her. What are you doing, you idiot?" And he's like, "Fine." Goes to the House of Wind to get away from Elaine. Finds Gwen there training, and it's like, "Hey, Gwen." And whatever, moves on to Gwen because we love that. I love Gwen. Gwen is spicy. Find out Asriel sings. Legitimately that he can sing, and
love him.
But here's my bone to pick. Elaine ends up dropping the necklace on a pile of presents, giving it back to Asriel, right? Because she's hurt because he was gonna kiss her and then he didn't. He takes the same necklace, gives it to Gwen.
Yeah.
That's weird.
A little weird, but he doesn't say like it's from me.
I think that's gonna come and
she
bite.
Just gives it to Clotho or whatever her name is.
That's gonna bite him in the butt later. And then whatever the
For
next
sure.
book is,
It'll be funny.
It's gonna bite him in the butt because Elaine's literally gonna be like, "Wait, that's my necklace," and Gwen's gonna be like, "What are you talking about?"
Gwen's too sweet. Gwen is a sweetheart, and
she is a sweetheart. But
also I would really just like it if Elaine would get her shit together and just like Lucien.
That's what I'm saying. It'll happen. It'll happen. But I want Lucien to be a little stronger. He's a little.
He can go anywhere he wants, but not home.
Literally, he can't go home. He's like a lost puppy right now.
Yeah.
Lucien's giving lost puppy.
Lucien's having a bad time.
He has always had a bad time.
He never once had it easy.
He cannot catch a break.
No, literally.
He can't have a win. Even the Archeron dad beat him to the punch. He went to the mainland in the last book or 2 books ago.
Yeah. During
the war with Hybern, and to try to get an army. Dad beat him there.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Actually, it wasn't me. It was your dad." Poor guy.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Lucien's trying his fucking best. That's
sorry for that sidebar. Next question.
This was yours. What's your favorite spicy scene?
girl, I'll tell you right now, they need to. There are certain scenes that were a little too
raunchy. Not
me.
even raunchy. Like, I don't mind if they're like kind of crazy.
Yeah,
the wording
is
what
tough for me.
What did I compare to squelching? Like when you watch Netflix with the subtitles on, specifically Stranger Things,
and they say squelching when talking about like
what's his name? Jamie Bauer's character, Jamie Campbell Bauer. What is his? Vecna. When Vecna walks in the room or like does anything, it's like squelching footsteps. Okay, like I could do without that specific adjective.
When they describe, they say I think it's a bead of moisture.
That one was gross, but there was one specific one I gagged. We were reading it last night. My poor husband's sitting there cooking dinner.
We're popcorn reading out loud.
And I sat there and I said,
I don't remember it, but it was something about him being damp or something like that. I just didn't love it. But Cassian and Nesta are aggressive. I love it. But they do get a little aggressive. I would say my favorite time is probably, I would say it's the first, me just reminiscing. I think if I had to pick one, it would probably be the very first time that they actually have sex when they're at the Moonstone Palace, which I'm obsessed with. I wish there were more scenes there because that house sounds beautiful. Yeah. And she's getting out of the bathtub after the bog.
Oh, yeah.
And it does make me sad. It makes me very sad, actually, when he leaves. That does make me very sad.
Yeah.
But it would either be that or the iconic, hang on, hold on, put your hands on the headboard. That's iconic. I'm sorry.
No, it is iconic. I'm gonna be pissed if I can't fucking find it. I want to find it. What made me so icked out?
I have no idea. I don't think we put a note there because it was so icky.
No, but I remember it was on this side of the page.
So you flip through every page. We need to move on.
I'm so mad. I can't find it, but
I get it though.
Yeah,
it was around the same time.
It was the same scene that they were talking about his balls. Just like knocking again.
Yeah.
I hated that.
And they do describe that. I will say,
I hated it.
The way they describe Cassian, they said Azrael has the biggest wingspan.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine.
Bark.
How they.
Bark.
Yeah. That. Okay, next question. We're civilized.
Oh, we talked about this. Would you consider this book to be very smutty?
Yeah.
No.
I consider it.
We both hit that. Like, perfect, we don't.
But I could even do it more. I want bonus chapters.
I could do without the specific adjectives that I don't like.
Yeah. I also don't.
The bead of moisture, the ball.
I can't.
Anything about balls.
I thought we were just not going to talk about as a society.
No, dead ass. Because why are we bringing balls into the conversation? Leave that shit out of here. Unless it's the scene where Nesta stabs that guy in the balls with the knife.
She said,
that's the only time I ever want to hear about a man's testicles. Otherwise, it needs to. A Ken doll is fine. Thank you very much.
I'm not that angry about the balls. The bead of moisture, I don't like that. I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah. Did your thoughts on the inner circle change throughout the book? Who and why? Amryn was pissing me the fuck off.
Was pissing me off. I think she has some self-growth she needs to do.
Oh, 100%.
I don't know if she's got more emotions now that she's fully high fae or what. Mm-hmm. But she's got some jealousy that she has to work through.
I feel like I started liking Amryn less in this book. She had towards the end when they're friends again, like it wasn't as bad. Reese was pissing me off a fuck ton throughout the book. Elaine gets more character. Elaine's, she's not as. She's not as boring.
Yeah, we didn't get as much on Moore either.
We didn't get much on Moore.
But I would say that
we got more on Asriel too.
Yeah,
he was
about to
talking
say,
more.
I
which
loved
is
having
nice.
Cassian's point of view so that we could hear more of Asriel.
Yeah,
Because
even with Nesta, like he
Yeah.
talks to a threesome. That's what. Sorry, I need that.
Yeah.
Between
And I will say, even at Solstice, when Asriel gives Nesta a present, this is the first time that they see a glimmer of what Cassian and Az see in Nesta. Nesta jumps up and hugs Asriel and like giggles, and everybody's like, "Huh?" But this is what Cassian and Asriel see all the time.
all the time. Yeah, no,
This is
I
what
really
he sees
love
with her and Emery and Gwen.
Yeah,
Which I think is beautiful.
they're
Sisters. They're like chosen family.
Yeah,
Which, like, in this book, family is important. But the way they also highlight chosen family.
yeah, and I wish she would choose Cassian and Asriel at the same time.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. I'm reading about dragons.
I'm reading about dragons. I'm reading about fae and fucking. Okay, last question. Thoughts on Gwen, Emery, the priestesses, and just female character arcs in general?
We've touched on it a lot. I think it is beautiful. I think it's so. I was even guilty of this when we first got them dropped into the right, and they're all scattered, right? North, south, west. And their things start glimmering, right? She realizes that wherever north is the one who's more in trouble.
Yeah.
The one in the south is the one who's less in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes north to find, Nesta goes north to find one friend. Because they have to find each other again. It's literally the same thing as Cassian and Reese.
Yeah.
They have to find each other again. Except this time there's weapons. Crazy. And even I was like, I thought in that moment, even though I really loved Gwen and I guessed that Gwen would be the first one to cut the ribbon, I thought she was going towards Gwen. I thought Gwen was in more danger because it said something in sheer panic. And I was like, oh, Gwen is the only one who doesn't know about the rite, really. Like, she was a priestess. They didn't learn about it. I was thinking, Emery, she's a Larian. She knows how this works. She was raised around it. She knows. So why would she panic? I mean, obviously it's scary, but like, I thought if anyone was panicking, it'd be Gwen, which I think is the point. And then it wasn't. It was, Emery was actually the one, because wasn't because she was scared, but she was almost dead in a river.
Shit rocked. Yeah.
And it was Gwen. By the time they found Gwen was like,
I just been hiding in the trees.
And I lured a beast to this campsite, saved Nesta and Emery.
Yeah. From fucking Belius or what? That
sucks.
bitch. He sucked so bad.
And they were like, haha, you fell for the nightgown. Which, terrible that they didn't even give them other clothes. Yeah. It's awful.
All right. And then we have a little game.
Is it time for game time?
Yeah, we finished all the like book club questions that we had.
I think this series is beautiful. I am seething at the mouth, foaming.
Like a little dog with rabies.
Yeah. Yeah, girl.
That's me.
I'm more like a little raccoon I'm like,
what's that one clip? I'm like a raccoon. In the you know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's that one guy. I don't know. He's like a political analyst, and he's like, I'm like a raccoon. That's really funny.
I'm alive. I'm dead. I'm looking at you. I'm watching TV.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. I think this book is amazing, and if I didn't have the knowledge that more ACOTAR was coming,
I'd be broken.
I mean, I'm already kind of broken from it, but I would be in a deep depression hole right now.
Yeah.
So thank the cauldron that we have it.
Yeah.
That we have
and then
more
we have
coming.
more. And we've not read Throne of Glass or Crescent City.
We have a lot more coming.
Or Fourth Wing.
We're
gonna
do the game.
Lot.
Let's do the game.
We compiled a list of would you rather questions.
Would you rather? All right, here we go. You do the first one.
First one is, would you rather be immortal on a mortal planet or mortal on an immortal planet?
This one's tough for me specifically because before reading these books, I didn't like when entertainment, TV, books, whatever, dealt with the concept of like.
Girl, shut the fuck up! You didn't like fucking Twilight?
I did like Twilight, obviously, but my thing is like for me, anytime there was like the topic of someone being like, I want to be immortal, it was always a villain wanting to be immortal.
Oh,
and I was like, what?
Like wanting to be immortal.
And I was like, oh, so you want to watch everyone you love and care about die, and you have to be alone? That sounds like my worst nightmare. Which is
also being the only one to die sounds terrible.
Being the only, but selfishly, at least you're not the one left alone. If you're the mortal
Oh yeah,
one,
no, I'm picking immortal on an immortal planet.
on an because I wouldn't be able to I wouldn't be able to handle being
Everybody
the
can
only one
mourn me
alive.
and be sad that I left.
Literally, that's us. If you go, I'm going.
Yeah.
Give me, if I'm immortal, give me that special cursed sword that Nesta has. I'm taking myself out.
Oh no, dead ass.
The second, like I'm striking a deal the way that Reese and Farrah did. You go, I go.
Yeah, I'm
Can't
out of
handle
here.
it. I simply will not be alone.
I am out of here. Yeah. Okay. And then
This
this was
question,
your
this was
question.
Would you rather be stuck in the spring court while Tamlin has destroyed everything, basically in a Lucian position, being a little bitch boy, and that was where you had to stay, or be stuck in Autumn Court, but the only people you could talk to was Eris and the rest of his family?
He's charmed me. I'm picking Eris and his stupid fucking family.
But Baron's
Dog,
beating up everyone.
Look at me. I'm insane. I would kill Baron.
See, that's the thing, because I know
Eris
that
would
if
be-
you were with Tamlin, you would lose.
I would
your
have
ever-loving
killed
mind.
it. Also, I mean, I like spring. I'm an Aries, which also that's why we know me and Nesta are like,
Yeah,
Nesta is an Aries. The
is.
first thing I read the first thing I thought when it was like Nesta's birthday, whatever, being in springtime, she's a fucking Aries.
I'm sorry, Cassian's a Libra. He's a Libra male if I've ever seen one, and
I've ever seen one.
I live for that. So
Yeah.
proud to be a Libra.
But like, I just know I think that's one of the reasons that Eris was maybe so interested in Nesta, because I think
She had this
I think he
fire.
knows, like, oh yeah, she could come here. I could easily get her to fucking kill my dad.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
And I just feel like
yeah.
I relate to that. Eris would be like, or I'd be like, can I kill him? Can I just
I think I would choose Tamlin
That's fair.
because I think I would be able to talk. I'm a fix it kind
No, I can fix him. No,
I think I could talk some sense in him. Is that my red flag? Something about brooding, angry men. I'm like, talk to me. Show me your feelings.
Oh my!
I think I could.
God.
I think I could be like, listen, you're gonna get your booty out there. You're gonna trim some roses. You're gonna fix this place up, because it's like that I don't know, clip from some show where she's like, you're gonna let me gut this house and make it my own, or I will rain fire upon you. And I think that I could scare him enough, but also charm him enough.
Sometimes you just don't scare. Sometimes you just kill. And that would be me with Baron.
Yeah, I think I could charm.
Also,
I think I could
feel
charm
like-
him enough and be like, listen, buddy, we're homies. I'm on your side.
Yeah.
Get it together. I think I could do it.
Well, that's fair. You can take spring. I'll take autumn. And then I feel like once I kill Baron, I feel like me and Lady of Autumn Court would fucking vibe. And then she could go actually be with Helion and
Literally.
be happy and
With
not
Lucian's real dad.
right and not
what
get
a
her
real,
shit
what a great
rocked
guy
by
to be
her.
a real
Oh
dad.
no! Oh no! Oh no! Mochi, do not jump on that.
No, she's gonna knock our
Mochi.
light down.
Give me, baby. Give me, Beaky.
Our light is balancing on a chair right now, and it's her chair. Come on, girl.
Yeah,
There we go.
You just come up here for a few more minutes.
We're almost done. Okay. Next question.
And the next question was mine. Would you rather live with the inner monologue of Nesta or Feyre?
Feyre.
You
You have the inner
I am-
monologue of Nesta. Angry
feel
Nesta.
Like, oh yeah, angry Nesta is me core. But like both of them kind of hate themselves. Like, let's be honest.
Doesn't
they're
every
in a
woman
monologue
at some point?
Yeah, they're in a monologue. Inner monologue, I feel like honestly is not very different.
Yeah.
It's just like a slightly different flavor.
It's a different, like, Nesta's a little spicier. I would say Feyre's gets a little more gray, where she genuinely,
Yeah.
she is the, like, when Feyre got depressed and was like, the life was drained out of her, she was just going with the motions. She wasn't necessarily pushing against anyone, because, she was about to get married. She was walking down the aisle, even though she was empty. And that she was like, I'm just doing this, like, one step in front of the other to survive.
Yeah.
Nesta very much was like, I am going to sabotage it more.
I'm going crazy.
And I feel like those have both been very similar responses that we've had.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to lash out, and I'm going to just drain. I'm empty.
Drag.
I'm going to be dragged along and I'm be like, until I reach a breaking point and have a panic attack.
Yeah. I'm kicking, punching, screaming.
Yeah. And I'm like, I would rather not be here and then have a panic attack. And then everything blows up and I'm like,
and then everything's bad.
Even I don't know what happened. I'm like, I wake up from it and I'm like, where was
Interesting.
What was that? What was that?
James.
Okay. Next question.
What was yours?
Would you rather participate in the right?
No.
Oh, shit. Would you rather have the love life of Asriel or the love life of Lucian? You either where he
can't
loves
really
multiple
get anybody.
Girls, can't get them all. And Lucian loves one girl. It's her mate. Or it's his mate and he can't have her.
I'd rather be Asriel because at least he can still, like, flap his dick around and get bitches.
Except he can't.
Because he doesn't want to. He could. I mean, apparently brothels are legal.
Yeah.
In the bonus scene, he was like, if you want,
go to a pleasure hall.
Yeah, pleasure hall and pay for it. Okay. That's weird.
That's true. He does have options, but Lucian, he knows at the very least he has some answers. He knows who his person is.
Yeah.
He has one focus. Azrael is still dealing with the fact that not only does he have these
Azrael's
other
like,
feelings,
damn.
He doesn't even know what he's doing.
Azrael was like, Moore, I love you. And Moore's like, I am a lesbian. I don't even like men. Or I guess she does like men. But she's like, I specifically do not like you, Azrael.
Yeah.
Like
And then is like he's like, oh, I like Elaine. Elaine's like, I like you too.
And Reese is like, fuck you. Reese is like, too bad.
Dude, if you want to get your head ripped off. And then there's Gwen.
Now there's Gwen.
Which he might be mated with Gwen. We don't know. Azrael doesn't know.
Yeah.
So in that regard, I would say I would rather be Lucian because at least he has the answer. If I have a goal, the goal being Elaine.
Yeah, but also just because someone's your mate doesn't mean that, like,
I know that doesn't mean they have to go with it or that
Reese's
it's
parents were mates.
Yes, we're mates.
Reese's parents were mates, and they were a terrible fit for each other. So you have the answer, but also you could fucking hate their ass.
Yeah, but I think from their those first couple of interactions where Elaine did open herself up to Lucian.
Baby, Elaine is speaking to the stars. She is speaking to the flowers.
She's in her own world. She doesn't know what she's talking about, but
she's speaking in fucking riddles.
But I think that Lucian is like, oh, well, when that moment where he gets into her brain, and even Elaine is like, but she doesn't want to admit that there is a connection. And I do think that I think Lucian has some growth to do. Yeah. But I think once he does, I think him and Elaine will work. I mean, I've seen fan art of them shipped together. Mm-hmm. But just from the mindset point of view, like being from Lucian or Azrael's point of view, for me personally, I would rather not be confused and be like, all right, this is my person. Almost very, very Dylan, very my boyfriend. This is my person, and I'm not giving up until they cave. That's exactly what happened with me and Dylan. He said, I choose you. And I said, no. Until I said yes. In a good way. In a good way. But I think I'd pick Lucian because I'd rather have the answer and have one goal.
Yeah.
And be patient than Az just being like, how about you? How about you? How about you? Who wants to get with me? Everybody and nobody all at the once.
All at the once. Let's be honest. I'd rather be one of the girls with like 18.
Absolutely.
Just like a list of.
Absolutely.
Like who does Feyre's got fucking Reese, obviously, Tamlin, and Tarkin. Nesta's got Cassian, Eris, and Helion, and
anyone else she may well please.
Like, I'd rather be one of them, just with like a list of suitors that they can choose from.
Literally.
All right, and then the very last question to round off the entire day: would you rather have to participate in the rite or complete all 3 of Amarantha's challenges?
This is such a good question. You really balled out with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that went hard. Girl.
I genuinely don't have an answer, so that's why I feel like it's such a...
I just have to go with my gut, because if I think too hard into it, I'm not going to be able to decide. I'd pick the right.
Oh, yes! Yes, I was hoping we'd both pick the right.
Pick the right.
Because I don't think I'd be able to kill somebody on my own.
Yeah.
Like if she was like stab somebody.
I mean,
I'd be like,
if Reese is offering to climb into my cell, okay. Maybe I'd pick, if Reese is included, maybe I'd pick the challenges. But if we're just doing it from just what they are,
yeah,
I'd
rather the right.
Because I'm a team player, dude.
Yeah, I'd find a team.
I don't want to.
And they typically don't have weapons.
Typically don't have weapons. Yeah, but the thing is I don't want to do anything alone.
Same.
I want to have a team. I'm not competitive in a sense of one-on-one. I want to have a group.
I also, my will to live, if I was alone, would deteriorate.
I'm gone.
I would be
gone.
That first challenge with the worm, I would have been like, oh, gross. I don't want to get eaten by a worm. I probably would have made it through that one because like that's a gory death.
Yeah.
But like, the second one's a gory death too.
And
honestly,
hurts.
She got injured. I would have let myself die.
I would have let myself die. I would
for sure.
With Reese, I'd been like, you want me to come to your palace?
I would have been like, can you just get me out of here now for the love of fucking God? Like, I can't do this. I am gonna die. And if I don't die, I'm gonna kill myself. So those are your options. You can get me out of here now or not. But
I'm getting out somehow.
And if that means death, then that means death, baby girl. I will die.
But I think
if I have incentive, like if I was in the right and like you were also dropped off, I'd be like, okay, I got to do this for Carrie. I got to get through it.
We would find each other.
I got to figure this out so that I can
and
like make sure she survives.
Stabbing men in the ball. Oh. Here's the thing. Stabbing men in the balls, absolutely.
Yeah.
I would do it. I would if I've been Nesta and woken up before all the other Illyrians in the right, I'd stab them all really quick.
I think if you stabbed one, then they'd all start waking up.
Maybe, but I'd rip their clothes off and I'd run. And I love that she ripped that dude's clothes off, put her nightgown on him. She said you wear the nightgown.
Yeah.
Who wears the nightgown now? I would so do the right because I think I could handle it. It's giving Hunger Games.
I see. When I'm thinking of that though, like if I compare it to Hunger Games.
But Hunger Games I couldn't do.
I could not do the fucking Hunger Games.
It's competitive in that way. I want a team and I want a way to win with my team.
Yeah.
Because I think we could. I think we could do it.
Yeah.
I think we could handle it.
Yeah.
We could run the world if we wanted to.
Deadass.
Boys do it.
How hard can it be? Boys do it.
Boys do it.
Literally.
Yeah.
I think I would pick the right.
I'd pick the right.
Favor's better than me.
Yeah, I would. I'd be like, I'm sorry, y'all. I can't do it.
Yeah. Sorry
if you placed your bets on me. You were wrong.
You are losing your money tonight. Why? Because I'm losing my life tonight.
You were wrong to bet on me. I will not maintain my bargain. I won't do it. I simply give up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. But yeah, that's it.
That.
I think we're probably gonna. Obviously, we haven't read Throne of Glass, and we haven't read Fourth Wing
or Crescent City or The Cruel Prince. There's a bunch of ones that we need.
We're gonna try to do some like a one-off book or two for the next couple episodes.
Yeah.
And then we'll jump back. We don't know what series yet. We'll jump back into a series and decide then, depending on how quickly we read them, if we're going to do 1 or 2 episodes or if we're going to
how we're going to break it up.
Episode per book. For Crescent City, it's only 3, I think.
Yeah. The third
so that could be like a 3-week series. I don't know.
We'll see.
That's what we're going for. We'll see.
Yeah. Also, I think it'll depend on
I need to
how
stretch
easy,
out the
ACOTAR it'll also
world.
depend on how easy of a read it is. Because I have seen things that say like, or some people say Throne of Glass is an easier read than ACOTAR. I also personally know people that say Throne of Glass is a really hard read.
Yeah, because the way it was written is kind of out of order.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. But
I don't know. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for watching, or thanks for coming to. Yeah, thanks for coming
to Book Club.
We had so much fun.
We had so much fun. And the next series, we will add another patch to our Book Club cardies.
We've got our Night Court glow in the dark.
Oh yeah, glow in the dark
cute.
Little insignia. I don't know how they say it.
I don't know what that fucking word means.
It means like symbol, like almost like mascot. Maybe. That could be wrong. Don't hold me to that. Thanks for coming to Book Club. Episode 2.
Thanks for coming to Book Club. We'll be back.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.